Lesson 6. Fellowship. If we walk in the light as Christ is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. Fellowship with God begins with fellowship with each other. The way we treat others is the way we treat God. How excellent is your name in the earth, O Lord! To have fellowship with you, I must show brotherly love to my fellow man. Though I come in humbleness and have something against my brother, my prayer, my meditation does not rise to you. O Lord, help my efforts in my approach to you. In preparation for the task before us, let us become more conscious of the divine spirit within, that we may go on. May we rely on His promises, for while we are often weak and selfish, and the work is great, God will encourage our spirits, our hearts, with the presence of His Holy Spirit, so that there may be no idleness or delay in us. Our soul is forever seeking its source. As we develop our soul forces within, we fan this spark into a flame which brings realization of our oneness and fellowship with the Creator of all things. There is a longing in our hearts for fellowship, an urge driving us here and there in search of happiness and satisfaction, onward in search of God. In the beginning all knew a perfect fellowship with the Father, and in the knowledge and understanding of this fellowship, men walked and talked with God. Fellowship is offered to all, a promise of the Father through the Son. It is the reflection of this fellowship which expresses itself in our love for others, whom we innately feel to be one with us as part of the all-inclusive whole. As we manifest love toward our brother, we increase or awaken our consciousness to a more complete fellowship with the Father, and we more fully realize that He moves within others as He moves within us. The brotherhood of man is but a shadow of fellowship with the Father. It is a true expression of the fellowship that exists in spirit. Thousands of years ago there arose a question in man's heart: am I my brother's keeper? It is still being asked. Until this is fully answered in our hearts in God's way and put into practice in our lives, we cannot hope to have the fellowship that is our rightful heritage. It is only when we part from the relationship with the divine love by failing to suffer with our fellow man, to bear his burdens and to forgive him, that we are out of harmony and sympathy with all that makes life worth living, fellowship with the Father. Manifesting love for our brother is manifesting love for God, in whom we live and move and have our being. This answers the whole duty of man to man, of brother to brother, and of man to his Maker. For whatever you do for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you do to me. If we wish to know how we stand with God, let us examine ourselves and see how we feel toward our neighbor. This companionship that we are seeking with God is found in the friendliness we show our brother. Seek God where He may be found, even in the heart of a neighbor. How well do we know God? Just as well as we seek to know and understand our fellow man, and just as well as we seek to magnify the divine consciousness in Him. What is more beautiful than fellowship? The Master sought it, that He might do the works of God. He did not withdraw from men, but mingled with them, sharing their sorrows, living their lives, and relieving their sufferings. The Master taught that love and service go hand in hand. What greater love could He have shown than to lay down His life in service for His fellow man? Yet that is just how far the Master went to demonstrate His power over sin, death, and the grave, and that those who seek life might know the way. Let us help our fellow man by our patience and forbearance, and show him that love is a living thing. What great love hath the Father bestowed upon us, that we might show forth his glory among men. Let us strive to be kind, training ourselves to be considerate of those who do not seem to appreciate it. Yes, be kind when it is the hardest. May we lose no opportunity to bind up the broken-hearted, to pour oil on the troubled waters, or to heed the command, Comfort my people, says your God. Let nothing stand between us and the Father, but rather let us cast aside the things that have hindered in the past, and allow no care to weigh us down as we go forth in his name day by day. Do we not know, and are we not confident that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose? It is not for us to judge, but to work, to serve, and to rely wholly on the promises. I am will you always to the very end of the age. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. I saw a vision. In it I was able to discover what it meant to be selfish. I beheld myself in the school of life, using what little spiritual food I had for my own benefit. I was sitting on the side of a hill eating. I soon realized that the ground upon which I was sitting was beginning to crumble. My food was also rapidly diminishing. A voice said, "Whoever does not have even what he thinks he has will be taken from him." Suddenly I became aware of my destitute position. My food was gone, the earth was receding, and great billows of water were about to overtake me. I arose and began to climb upward, slowly, laboriously. I eagerly sought and accepted help from those I had formerly considered on lower spiritual planes than I. These words came to me: "A man reaps what he sows," and so in everything to do to others what you would have them do to you. Let our meditation and prayer be expressed in the following words. How excellent is thy name in the earth, O Lord! Would I have fellowship with thee, I must show brotherly love to my fellow man. Though I come in humbleness and have aught against my brother, my prayer, my meditation does not rise to thee. Help thou my efforts in my approach to thee.